I wanted to share my very first, I have a lot of very firsts on YouTube with these first videos that I'm doing because, again, this is, you know, me starting out with this craft, and I'm kind of wanting to document my progression because I hope as I go along with this, I'm going to get better. So this is my very first altered book, and I love how it turned out. This is two goals that I had with this book. One was that I was only going to use the Steampunk debutante papers in this book, and number two was to try out different techniques that I was learning as I was reading all the books that I was buying on Amazon to learn how to do, you know, altering books, just different kinds of techniques, journaling techniques that I actually used in here too. And again, I just love how it turned out. This was a Stephen King book that I now have on my Kindle because I have all of Stephen King's books, and his books are huge. So this was a very big book, and I tore out a lot of pages, and I didn't want it to be one of these pages that was like monstrous, that it was like wouldn't lay flat. It's not completely flat, but it's pretty darn close to that. So yeah, I was really, again, really happy with the way this turned out. So I, of course, did not realize that Graphic 45 no longer made the Steampunk debutante papers. So I had to do a lot of research to find these papers. I finally found an Etsy store that had a little paper pack left. So I didn't get, like normally you would get a front and back of the paper. You know, you would get two pieces of that, and I didn't get that with this. I just got one page of each. So it was hard to decide, do I use the front, do I use the back? So I was kind of limited with that. But my goal was to use the entire, just all the papers in this book. And in addition to using the Lumiere paints, they went so well with the colors in this paper line. And I really just wanted to try out all the different Lumiere paints to see what the colors looked like laid down. So I used a lot of those in this book. So I used the Tim Holtz Gadget and Gears die to cut these out, and of course topped it with some Lumiere paints. Rach O113, I used a lot of her techniques in this as well. You can see I used foil tape, some of the, oh my gosh, what is this? It's some kind of drywall tape was used as well. Drywall tape, cement and board backer tape in here. And I used her technique of covering the book and, you know, embossing. She has a video that goes into doing this foil technique and embossing, putting things underneath the tape and embossing it down into the, I'll have to try to remember when I'm through with this to put her video down on how that was done, but it was a great technique. So this is like a bottle, flattened bottle cap, some washers, Tim Holtz pieces in here. This is Gadget and Gears, some die cut that I did here. I love this. And then I just did a bunch of Tim Holtz and Industrial Chic charms in here. Industrial Chic, bead landing, punched a hole in my crocodile. And I die cut some flowers, used some glossy accents on some fussy cut pieces here, and threw some glossy accents in the middle of this. There's some exposed cardboard here that's been glimmer misted with some Tattered Angels glimmer mist, a Tim Holtz clock that's stuck in there, and some of the bead landing gears that I used as the center of the flowers for here. And then the back side is a bunch of fussy cutted flowers that I kind of outlined and doodled with. I don't know if you can see that either because the lighting in here sucks. And I used a sponge technique on the painting with the Lumiere paint, so I used like 2 or 3 different colors. Again, I love the way it turned out. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous book, even if I do say so myself. So the inside, what I decided to do was take a Wikipedia definition of steampunk and use it throughout the entire book. So you'll see these little, the definition is just continued throughout the entire book. And because I just fell in love with that whole like theme. So that is here. Again, I've just used some of the gears from the bead landing, some cut out from the paper. This is the Tim Holtz Hardware Findings hinge that I used. I love how this page turned out. I just fussy cut some of the paper. Again, Lumiere paint on the back. Glossy accented the bird here. Did some stamping on tissue paper. Collaged it down. I think this is the Hero Arts Time Flies stamp. And then this is some of the Graphic 45 stamps as well. Another page. I just love the way these paints turned out. I don't know if my light's just pretty bad in here. Pocket page. I did some embossing. Tim Holtz Alterations Fade, Texture Fade, whatever it's called. Love that. Flattened bottle caps. And my Big Shot. That doesn't do a very good job of flattening the bottle caps, but what I decided to do is because it has such jagged edges on it, I had an Etsy store graphic download of some mini clocks that I stuck in the center of this. And I just dumped the bottle cap right into my Yudi pot. So, melted that. Did the same thing with another clock from Etsy download that I just printed out to cardstock, and then dunked this in Yudi as well. When it came out, it cracked. I liked the look, so I cracked it some more. I don't know if you can see that, but again, I just love the way that turned out. This is beautiful paper. Graphic 45 should come out with this paper again, because I just love it. Another page. I did mix some of the, oh gosh, I can't remember. It's a Die Cuts with a View. Kind of goes along with the steampunk theme as well. I can't remember the name of it. But I used that in here as well. So that's this background piece here. Again, just did some more of the gears in the hair. Embossing powder around the edge. Around the postage stamps as well. Again, I don't know if you can see that. Put some angel wings. These are just stickers that I stuck in here. You can tell this is when I first got my white paint pens because I was using that a lot. This is a collage page. I saw somebody else did a video on their album that they had done on using the same paper, and they had done where this was a movable piece. I love how that turned out. I did put a couple of movable pieces in here. And this is another Etsy store graphic that I just printed out and I aged with Tim Holtz Distress Inks. Have some photo corners. Did some more stamping with those Graphic 45 stamps that match the paper line. I have not mastered the art of collaging yet, so this is kind of a mishmash of papers and some of the adverts that were in the paper line. And again, just experimenting with some of the Lumiere paint. This is, I think, Halo Pink Gold. I love that color. Another one of my favorite colors. And some more of the gadget gears that I die cut. Cynthia Lou Who had a has a video on how to do photo corners using your punches. And I tried it using the metal foil tape, and the Martha Stewart punches that I have really don't go through that material really well, so I kind of tore up the photo corners and just kind of used them throughout the book as well. But you should check out her video, Cynthia Luhu, Photo Corners tutorial using your punches. It was a really pretty good video. And I had also just read Tracy Bautista, Doodling. So I did some of that in here with some black paint markers. Again, this is just me using, you know, trying out new techniques. Another pocket page, inked up, embossed. Another tag, some wire. This is a Anna Griffin flower or butterfly sticker. Another thing I stuck in the UD pot. This is just cut out of the paper, stuck in the UD pot. Just some ribbon that I adhered down. I did some wire wrapping on this. I don't know if you can see that very well. I did some wire wrapping. That was kind of a cool technique that I got from one of my books that I was reading. Some more of the photo corners that I tried to use. Didn't do very well. These are just some old earrings that I had from my jewelry box that I just used to dangle down from the wire wrapping that I had done. And it's really cool because, you know, I had planned that page out with the wire wrapping, so you won't really see that on the back side of this page because I had glued, you know, some of the pages together, so I had planned for that. And they're glued inside the middle of this page spread that I have. As you can see here, no back side of the wires. And some more tags. Tim Holtz piece hanging off that. Did some Tim Holtz stamping. Again, another tag, embossed. Just made a pocket out of this. Another Etsy store graphics and stamping, a lot of stamping. I love this page. I love this Lumiere paint. Oh my gosh, love it. Love it, love it. I can't remember the name of the Lumiere color because I've got a lot of the colors, but oh gosh, I loved how this turned out with the butterflies. An Etsy store graphic. I used my Prismacolor watercolor pencils to color in and then wet it and to try to make it a little bit more vibrant, because this was just a sepia toned graphic that didn't have any color in it. And I fussy cutted some of the butterflies out of the paper pack and put the Tim Holtz Distress Crackle paint and clear rock candy over the top of it, and stuck the butterflies down the center, right down the center. Use my bone folder to really fold the centers of them down in the center of that page, and then took some of the, you know, funky yarn, whatever that's called, and ran that funky yarn down the center. I don't think you can see that I don't think you can see that at all, but I like how that turned out. Made another pocket page out of here, so I just have some more tags that I stuck in here, and there's a lot of pages in here. Another page, I really like the way it turned out. I don't know if you can see, it looks like wood, that Lumiere paint. Tim Holtz Alterations clock die that I cut out. Using that white paint marker again. And some more of that paper from the Die Cuts with the View paper line. Another collage spread. I just kind of again, I really need to learn how to collage better, but I guess that'll come with time. I stamped some more tissue paper. It was like a gold tissue paper. I used some Tim Holtz script stamps and stamped it and collaged that on. Etsy store graphic. When I distressed it with the Tim Holtz ink, I got it really dark, so it's kind of hard to see it. But I love that graphic. And this page totally does not fit the book, the colors, or anything. But I had just gotten some more Lumiere paints, and I wanted to see what the color looked like. It was a pink color that I wanted to see what it looked like on here. So I tried that out, and the colors don't go at all, but I just, you know, I was just wanting to try it out. I have a Steampunk owl stamped on here. I did do some modeling paste through a stencil on here, just through some, this was like just some kind of flower thing that was attached to a Christmas gift that I used. And this, you can see I've been watching not only Tracy Bautista reading, her book, but also Tisha Moore. I had read one of her books, so I got into the whole doodling thing. And yeah, this page, this is probably the least favorite in the entire book, but again, it was just me throwing paint down because I wanted to see what the color looked like, and trying out techniques that I was learning at the time as well. This page, I love how this turned out. And this is folded, you know, just folded some of the book pages over into the other book pages to make a pocket, to make these diagonal pockets in here. Love how that turned out. This is some industrial chic paper that you can get from the jewelry department. And some more tags. Another tag. Here's another tag. Love how those turned out. I had originally, when I did this, I had some charms dangling from the bottom here. That's why all these eyelets are in here. But I didn't like the way they were making, I wanted to set this up. So I didn't like the way it was keeping the book from standing straight up on my bookshelf. So I took those out. And then here I was again playing with the graffiti. There was a graffiti thing I'd read about, so I kind of wanted to do a little graffiti wall, and some more paints that I was playing with. And gosh, I really wish you could see the way these paints look. They are just so awesome. Awesome, love. And I did some more wire wrapping, beaded some stuff down the side here. Made a pocket out of this. A couple more tags. Did some stamping on the back. I used the Daler Rowney pearlescent drip, just splattered it on the page. I think at the time I was watching a lot of Donna Downey's journaling Inspiration Wednesday videos, so I was really wanting to try that out, but I hadn't started, you know, really doing the journaling at that point, so I was trying it out here. This is another page that I cut a niche out of the pages that I have glued together here. Cut a niche out, stuck a Tim Holtz clock in here, and I like how that turned out. Although my window pane is totally in here crooked. I didn't line that up very good, so it's not very straight. I made a couple of mistakes. I had to kind of cover those up with Tim Holtz tissue tape. Again, that's the only reason I use tissue tape, is usually when I'm covering up mistakes. And yeah. And then this is another page, just doing some experimenting on this page with some stencils. Made some pockets, some more tags. Made little pockets out of these. Oh, I love how this turned out too. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Kind of camo looking with the paints. Again, those Lumiere paints are just so gorgeous. Gorgeous. And again, this is very heavy chipboard. I don't know if you can hear that. Very thick, heavy chipboard that I used the same technique as I used on the cover. Actually, I'd done this first. That's the whole reason why my cover, I love the way this turned out, so I decided to do my cover like that. But I love how this tag turned out. And again, with the bottle caps, I just stuck cut some of the pieces from the paper line out and did the same thing. Put Yudi, stuck it in a Yudi pot, and another pocket with a couple of little teeny tiny tags in it. And this, another, is probably my second least favorite. I had just gotten the Tim Holtz hanging sign die, and I wanted to use it as well, so I just decided to throw it on this page. Try out some other Lumiere paint, and didn't like it, but I wasn't going to cover it up because I don't want to cover up any of my mistakes. I just want to move on. And so I wasn't that crazy about this page. And this is the back of the last spread of the book. I loved how this turned out. I love the paints, the sponging technique I used to put it on. Love it. There's a couple tags in here, a couple of tags here, but I mean, just look at that paint. Love it. I just think it's gorgeous. So anyway, this is my very first altered book, Steampunk Debutante, with the Steampunk Debutante paper, and I love how it turned out. So thanks for looking.